With Mercedes starting to improve after a rocky start to the season, this seems to have given Lewis Hamilton some wind in his sails. It appears the Verstappen versus Hamilton rivalry may have been reignited, with the Red Bull driver responding to Lewis Hamilton's latest claims about Red Bull's car. It hasn't helped that even Russell and Jos have had something to say. Let's just say Max didn't enjoy Lewis's latest comments, with Russell not particularly standing by his teammate either. And of course, just to round it out, Jos Verstappen got involved. Will this lead to more exchange of words? Let's find out. Max Verstappen says his driving ability has been crucial to his success this season, in response to Lewis Hamilton's assertions that his domination was due to Adrian Newey's design. Speaking before the weekend, Hamilton stated that Red Bull's achievement was no surprise given Newey's competence in ground effect vehicles. Verstappen acknowledged that this vehicle was a very crucial component of his performance this season, but emphasized the importance of driving talent. The incumbent champion then credited Hamilton's ability with helping him win many of his 7 championships. Verstappen stated at the post-race news conference, "A lot of stuff is down to the team, of course, as well as how Lewis got his championships. That's how Formula One works. Your car is key, but I believe that when you're a terrific driver like Lewis, you create a difference over your teammate at that moment, especially in crucial races. For example, I believe one that jumped out for him as well was at Turkey, when it was incredibly slick, just keeping cool and not making mistakes. You win a race like that, and that's what good drivers do at the end of the day. If you look at Adrian Newey, he doesn't normally make terrible cars." Hamilton added, "He constructed some incredible automobiles throughout the years. My championship-winning vehicle was a development of his vehicle. Honestly, it's hardly surprising that he completed his thesis on ground effect flooring. He is one of the few people who design vehicles by hand. So his expertise there has benefited them, and they have done well." But the replies to Hamilton did not end there. Verstappen's father also had some things to say to Hamilton. Max Verstappen's father brutally insulted Lewis Hamilton and Mercedes following the Dutch Grand Prix mishap. After seeing his son grab the checkered flag ahead of Lewis Hamilton, Max Verstappen's father mocked Mercedes for failing to defeat Red Bull in the Dutch Grand Prix. Jos Verstappen also alluded to the pair's heated title struggle in the previous season, implying that the team had obviously not learned from their errors. With Hamilton leading and Verstappen in third, the Silver Arrows took a gamble by bringing in George Russell for fresh tyres before the safety car restarted. Pitting Russell would expose Hamilton on the restart, as Verstappen had pitted for a new set of soft tyres in place of the Britain's used mediums. A similar scenario occurred on the final lap of the previous season's Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, when Verstappen passed Hamilton during an exciting and contentious conclusion after pitting for fresh tyres. Verstappen's triumph in the Middle East guaranteed him as driver's champion for the first one in his career. After witnessing the 24-year-old maestro secure another victory after overtaking Hamilton at Zandvoort, Jos Verstappen couldn't help but poke fun at Mercedes. "It was incredibly thrilling, but Red Bull was back on top," Verstappen Sr. said in an interview with the Dutch daily De Telegraaf. Max tested all tyres and recommended which compound would work best. Mercedes also performed admirably and they had a strong chance of winning, but thankfully, everything worked out in our favor. And you'd think Mercedes would have learned from last year's race in Abu Dhabi, but not. Verstappen's father's words would have just added salt to Hamilton's wounds as he appeared to be on track for his first win of the season, only to finish 4th and prolong his miserable season with the Silver Arrows. On the safety car restart, the 7-time world champion was left exposed to the sheer speed of Verstappen's RB18 down the straight, and he lost his spot quickly. However, the 37-year-old was later determined to have hit the incorrect button, which unlocked a slower engine setting, giving him less power to defend against the Dutchman. After the race, a disgruntled Hamilton apologized to his team after ripping at the strategists on the radio with multiple expletives following their decision to bring in Russell. "I can't believe you people have screwed me like this," he remarked. "I can't tell you how pissed off I am right now." The 8-time Constructors' Championship winners have yet to win this season, despite a noticeable boost in race pace, and George Russell finishing second, just 4 seconds behind Verstappen. Hamilton has not won a race since December of last year in Saudi Arabia, and he is in danger of losing his record of winning a race in every season since his debut in 2007. That would be sad for anyone, champion or not. Hamilton's season, which has been tumultuous from the start, appears to be continuing throughout the season, To top it all off, taking shots at the champion with the crown in his pocket may be low and unwarranted even for him. On the other hand, Verstappen has already won 10 of 15 races, extending his championship lead over Charles Leclerc and Sergio Perez to 109 points, with only 7 races remaining as he approaches his second title. A great performance by a young man and an even better one from the Red Bull crew. But Hamilton's comments sparked emotions not just in Verstappen and his father, but also in George Russell, who had a few words to say. Mercedes' George Russell stated that Max Verstappen would have won the Dutch Grand Prix even if the Silver Arrows had left the 24-year-old on the track. Russell qualified 6th, at 1 spot behind 4th place Sir Lewis Hamilton, after both Mercedes drivers were denied a true opportunity at pole position on Saturday due to a spin for Sergio Perez, who qualified 5th. Verstappen grabbed pole ahead of Ferrari's Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz, and the trio led the way in the early rounds. When Sainz was summoned into the pits, one of his mechanics was standing in the wrong section of the pit box, so he had to make his way back around to install the left rear. That pit stop knocked the Spaniard out of contention, putting Hamilton in 3rd place behind Verstappen and Leclerc. Russell and Hamilton both began on mediums to go long and make a 1-stop, as opposed to the 2-stop for the 2 leaders, who began on softs. The virtual safety car was deployed, and Mercedes pitted their drivers for hards, enabling Verstappen a cheat stop. Leclerc, on the other hand, had already pitted, putting him behind the Mercedes drivers, who were now tasked with chasing down Verstappen. Another twist occurred when the entire safety car was deployed, and while Russell pitted for new softs, Hamilton remained on the track. This put him ahead of Verstappen, who had just pitted, but it also exposed him to the Dutchman. Verstappen overhauled Hamilton on the restart, but was soon overtaken by Russell and Leclerc, finishing 4th. Following the race, one commentator said that Mercedes might have left Russell out with Hamilton, giving the 37-year-old track position while also sheltering him from Verstappen. Russell believes this would not have worked. "I believe if we'd both remained out, Max would have won the race, and we would have ended behind Charles as well," he stated. Verstappen was also convinced that if Mercedes had been in front of him in the latter moments of the race, he would have overtaken them. "I think I would have gotten both of them anyhow if they had remained out," he remarked, alluding to Hannah Schmidt's choice to box the defending champion. Toto Wolff, Mercedes team principal, also indicated that the performance of the Red Bull would have allowed Verstappen to win the race, whether he had one or both Mercedes in front of him. "I think the Red Bull has so much straight-line speed. We have nothing on the same tyre. I think there are many more positives to take," the Austrian remarked. "It's disappointing to be 2nd and 4th, but we had a terrific racing vehicle here, so we had to take chances." Hamilton had first berated his crew over the radio, but afterward apologized, stating that he had reached a breaking point in the moment's excitement. He also stated that the glass is half full following Mercedes' excellent weekend, adding that the 8-time champions can still win races in 2022. With everyone arguing over Lewis Hamilton's remark, one can only ask if the 7-time champion is still focused on driving or is now throwing shots at drivers he perceives as threats. What do you think this new rivalry will lead to? More words of war? Comment below.